Dramatic turn. Hello ballers! World of Logs Part 2. This one's been a bit delayed, but we're going to discuss today how you analyse the World of Logs if you're a DPSer. We've got two more to go, which is going to be looking at healing and the perspective of a raid leader. Tanking is kind of hard to do with World of Logs, and it's not overly helpful. If you survive, you generally did a good job, and if your healers complain, then maybe you need to look at something. But overall, World of Logs is not going to help you that much. But as a DPSer, it's your #1 source of help. So let's get into it. In this one, I have run an LFR on my warrior. I've included some fail, so we can track how you look at fail. It was LFR, so it has a combination of fails from other people as well. And I've also sort of looked at how I use defensive cooldowns to see if we can track that kind of thing, and our DPS uptime. Alright, so let's look at World of Logs and see how we go. So the first thing people do when they go to World of Logs is instantly look to the end of the screen and see if they're a hero like this. But most likely that screen's actually going to be empty, more like this. So when you're looking to improve your DPS from World of Logs, there's a few things you need to check. So here's a World of Logs of me kicking some ass in LFR. So let's look at some of the classic mistakes people make. Is they look at this screen and they go, holy shit, a whole bunch of fucking numbers and getting the fuck out of here right now. Don't do that. You know, that's not the plan. Don't worry. Go to your dashboard at the top and then go to damage done. Now, don't instantly open this screen and go straight down to, oh, I did loads of damage. Yeah, I'm third on the damage meter. I'm out of here. Don't do that whatsoever. And then you look at everybody else and go, God, noobs. One of the first things I like to look at when I'm checking this thing out is activity time. So the next thing to do is go and check a boss. So let's go to the Spirit Kings. Now, as you can see on the Spirit Kings, I want to check the activity here. So you're looking for about 90 to 100% activity time. You're never really going to hit 100% activity time, but 90% isn't too bad, considering you're going to have to move around with Jasper Chains, you're going to have to do all that kind of stuff. But if you don't know, it's a very simple mathematical equation here, that the more time the boss is alive, the more chance you have to do spells. So you really want to maximize the amount of time you're doing DPS while those bosses are alive. You can see as the DPS starts to go down, we can see that a lot of the actual activity goes down as well. So you've got people like 81%. We've got a Warlock here who had 4%. So you don't want to be these guys. These are some clear examples of these guys right here. Don't be this guy. Don't be this guy. Well, don't be any of these guys. The next step is to check how our DPS was and can we improve. So click on your name. And that's going to bring up your specific statistics for this boss. So, first things first, let's look at buffs gained. Because one of the most powerful things in doing DPS is making sure we're using all our cooldowns effectively. Not using cooldowns is pretty fail. At the top of the screen, we can see how long a boss lasted. Like this one lasted 8 minutes and 28 seconds. So that should mean I get 3 uses of things like Avatar. Wrong. I got 2 uses out of Avatar, which means I missed out on a potential DPS cooldown. I also only used Deadly Calm 4 times during this fight, which means I had definitely a chance to do more, and I used Recklessness only once, which means I had plenty of opportunity here to use those cooldowns again and get much more DPS out of it. So check your uptime on all these things. They're very important. How many times did you use your DPS cooldowns compared to how long the fight is? The next things we want to check are uptime, okay? This doesn't really relevant for melee, so let's go and check out a caster. Okay, so I found a mage who was using Living Bomb. Now, any mages should be wanting to keep Living Bomb up near enough 100% of the time, or as close to. So, as soon as we can see here is Living Bomb. Things like this we want to check because the uptime was only 55%. So, he had only a 55% uptime on one of his most damaging spells. That's one of the things that you really need to pick up on. The same for things like Shadow Word Pain, or any dots that you need to keep up as much as possible. Come into this screen, damage by spell for your character, and check those spells out and look here in the uptime category for how long you actually kept it up for the majority of that fight. 55.1%, lots of room for improvement there. We can see instantly ways of increasing our DPS. Also look for spells maybe you shouldn't have cast, like Flame Strike, Combustion, using 20 Infernal Blasts but only getting 10 Pyroblasts. Things like that are things you want to check out, because that means that you were doing something very wrong. Okay, ballers, that should be 3 simple things to get you started on World of Logs. The next things we're going to look at are things that raid leaders should look for, and things that may also include your DPS, and then we're going to look at things healers should look for as well. Alright, ballers, I'll see you again.